Welcome into today's podcast, right here at the Cog Hill 40. Peaches wouldn't let Nugget into the canned ham for this episode, so here's Jason and Brooke. Johnny Carson didn't have nothing on these folks.
What is up, everybody? This is another episode of the Cogcast podcast coming at you, not live, I almost said live. It's not live. Coming at you from the canned ham over at the Cog Hill 40. It is Thanksgiving. This is Thanksgiving Day.
Yep.
Happy Thanksgiving.
That's right. Happy Thanksgiving. We are thankful for so many things.
So many things.
I should have been prepared for what I was thankful for, but the list is so long that I will say what I'm thankful for today.
Okay.
I'm thankful that we have as much water pipe put in the ground and stubbed up. That sounds meaningless, but I am truly thankful we're as far along as we are.
Yeah, we got we're getting really close. Really close with the pipe. We're almost there.
We have lots to be thankful for.
Lots to be thankful for. Our fans and just, oh gosh, I could just go on and on and on and on.
Yes. I'm thankful to have a roof over my head, even if it is, living in a camper for temporary. I'm thankful to have this little canned ham to record a podcast in with a little space heater that we can keep it warm with.
That's right.
It's just unlimited.
It is unlimited. I could go on and on and on. When you said space heater, that reminded me of the new heaters we got and how we mentioned them in the podcast. And man, we had so much feedback on those oil radiator heaters or oil-filled electric heaters that we got. And we got them from Home Depot. I had somebody ask, where did we get them from? They came from Home Depot. They had them in stock. I
even sent a link to somebody, if you can believe I figured out how to do that.
And y'all, those things are amazing.
They are. You can. We bought 2 of them. We didn't know if we would need 2 of them, but we felt like if we didn't need 2 of them, we'd just take the other one back and never open the box. So we opened one to begin with, kind of gave it a test run.
Yeah. You
didn't feel any heat coming out of it. It didn't physically get hot to where you felt like it was.
We thought it was, you're thinking it was going to be like your regular electric space heater like we got in here.
Even though you told me, I still thought I could put my hand on it and feel warmth coming out, but you can't.
Once it gets cranked up and going for a while, you can feel heat coming off of it.
But it's not like it's coming out. You know, it's just
radiant.
Yeah, but it does an excellent job.
God, we have not turned the propane, the gas heat on in the camper since we've had these heaters.
And you told me today that the propane level's at 100%.
It is.
That tells me I hadn't cooked very much.
Well, I don't think cooking takes that much, though. Well, it's the heater's what was sucking it dry. And we've had, this has been probably the coldest week.
Yes, it has. Yeah. I mean, there really hadn't been too many times where we hadn't gone outside without a sweatshirt or a light jacket.
Yeah, and it's one of those days where I'm out there working on a water pipe and I hit the sun and the wind quits blowing and I get hot. Mm-hmm. So I take my sweatshirt off and then 6 minutes later, the wind starts blowing and then you have to put your sweatshirt or jacket back on. And it's kind of like a musical chair thing that I'm doing with my jacket or sweatshirt on and off, on and off, on and off.
I have a tendency to tie mine around my waist so that way, I can keep up with it and don't have to go from point A to point B to get a hold of it. But I've seen yours on feed barrels, and then I'll see you go back and get it.
I haven't lost it yet, though. I haven't lost my jacket or sweatshirt yet. I have kept up with them.
That's a good thing. But I think you lost your sunglasses this morning, but I didn't say anything about it.
I found them, though. I found them.
Where were they?
They were in here.
In here?
Yeah, and there's usually 3 places.
You were out here working last night.
Yeah, I edited a video last night, and there's usually 3 places that they can be. And I always check those 3, and I came in here and looked and didn't see them. And then, after, 15 minutes of looking, I came back in here, and I found them. They were covered up with a piece of paper.
Well, I didn't say anything, but I knew I had not seen them. So they had to have been in a place that I haven't been.
Yeah.
Because normally if I see them, I'll stick it in the back of my memory that when he starts looking for his sunglasses or whatever, then I can tell him where they are. But I hadn't seen them, so we're just getting closer and closer every day to building a house. And I said when I was cooking dinner tonight that this camper business is getting kind of tight because
space.
Well, we need to take something out every time we bring something in.
Yeah.
And I tell myself that. However, it's not easy to tell a child that. I mean, yes, she does what we tell her to, but it's just not easy to tell her every time you bring something in, you have to take something back out. Because where does she put it without me putting it somewhere?
That's right.
So that's been our latest.
Yeah, space. It's all been space related.
I cooked spaghetti. I cooked it in the Instapot. And then I realized that I always cook a lot of something when I do cook, so that way we can have leftovers.
Right.
Well, spaghetti sauce is just something that you make a lot of. You freeze it. It tastes just as good out of the freezer to us as it does the day you cooked it. So I cooked my big pot, and then I couldn't figure out where I was going to put the pot until it cooled off so I could put it in the refrigerator, which I didn't have a spot for it in the refrigerator, but just little things like that.
Yeah,
I'm not complaining. I don't mean to sound I'm complaining. It's just as time goes on, we realize that we're tight.
It is tight in that camper. It really is.
And then we let the dog stay outside most of the day.
Yes.
They have an outdoor area.
Mm-hmm.
And on days when it's not raining and the weather's pretty, then we let them in late in the afternoon when it starts to get chilly. And boy, when they come in, it makes it really tight. I mean, they're all 20 pounds and under.
And the 2 new heaters.
Yeah, it's just space is limited.
It is space.
I mean, you got dirty clothes, and I bought the hamper that hangs on the back of the bathroom door. But it seems like when you've got winter clothes, when you take them off, it fills that hamper up in one day.
Yeah, I will say this. I never really... the size of the bathroom has really not bothered me that much at all because it is tiny. It's a camper bathroom. But when we put that hamper in there that hangs on the door and it's got clothes in it, it feels like it cuts that bathroom almost in half.
It does. It makes the space tight in there.
So much tighter.
But, I'm not taking clothes on and off in there. I'm still going to Mama's to take a shower.
Right.
And that's working out well, even though it's sometimes... it's pretty frigid when you come out of a warm house having taken a shower to go back to your place.
And walk over here.
Yeah. But that's okay. It's just going to make me appreciate my dwelling that much more once we get in our house.
And for instance, Thanksgiving,
Oh, you got some friction when you moved just now.
Some Thanksgiving, we got, we didn't cook a whole turkey. And, is it me, or is turkey just slightly overrated?
Well, your daughter seems to think so because she and I were discussing that the other day, and she told me how many millions of turkeys that Americans consume at Thanksgiving, which I never thought about it. But when she told me the number, I was just floored.
Right.
And it's just just something we do. It's just turkey for Thanksgiving. Nobody thinks about it. But so much of it, well, now here in the years past, it hasn't gone wasted.
Right.
But I can remember growing up and just even if it was just the three of us, a whole turkey was just too much.
I'm probably going to get a bunch of backlash. I may get people riled up on me. But, it's just not super flavorful. And it's, and I'll usually cook it and I'll do a, decent job with it. And it could be dry. Well, it's my phone. It's back feeding my phone. It's normally dry. I don't know. It just seems just a little overrated for all the trouble that you go through to cook a whole turkey.
Well, we may not feel that way if we had a big family.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. If you had a big family, I could see how it would feed a lot of people, and I understand how that would work. I really do.
Because when I was little, my Meemaw, which was my daddy's mama, she was an excellent cook. And so my daddy's brother, he had two brothers. They would come over with their kids, and Actually, Barry didn't have children at the time, so it would be Barry and his wife, and then Ron and Virginia and their 2 children.
And that's your dad's brothers, Barry and Ron.
Right.
Yeah.
And they both lived out of town, so we didn't see them very often. So when they got to come for the holidays, it was just a big event. We had a big, long table, that was in the dining room, and it would just be filled with so much food that you couldn't possibly fit it all on your plate. But it was so enjoyable as a child, remembering all that family time and fun time. But we don't have a large family, and my dad's passed away, and then his brothers, they have their own, families.
Right, that's right. Their kids have gotten older.
Their kids have gotten older, and their kids have kids, and they're all going with their family in separate ways. And it just seems like it is a little much for us because we can't possibly consume a whole turkey but that butcher box one wasn't wasted, I'll tell you that.
No, we did. Well, recently what we do is any leftovers we make turkey hash out of.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's the last few years we hadn't wasted anything.
And that turkey, I enjoy the turkey hash more than I do the turkey at Thanksgiving.
Yes, it was really good.
Yeah.
But, just having those memories makes me know how thankful we should be to have our family and friends and time together.
Yeah, that's right.
But we don't experience that, so therefore it makes it a little different.
Yeah, and I guess the turkey would be, it feeds a lot of people, but just my opinion is that I think we get so stuck on it when we could have filet mignons or New York strips or
you're right.
something that we really enjoy. And what was it you said? Piper and their family, they eat seafood.
Yeah, I was asking Piper, I said, do y'all have a big Thanksgiving plan? And she said, well, we have to go to both my grandmothers. And I said, well, do y'all do turkey and stuff like that? She said, no. Actually, at one of my grandmothers, we do seafood. We have shrimp and oysters.
That just sounds awesome. Shrimp and oysters.
I said, well, what does she do with the shrimp? Do y'all just have a shrimp bowl or what? And she said, well, a lot of times she'll cook a shrimp casserole. And she says it's got lots of cheese in it and pasta. And it just sounded delicious.
It did sound delicious. It really did. Now, we did do just turkey breast.
Yeah, turkey breast.
And mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Because we don't have any room.
We don't have any room. So.
And I can cook a whole turkey on the grill. But again, we don't have any room hardly for the leftovers. And, I just feel like it's a little overrated. I really do. It's just not a flavorful. I don't know. Just for the time and money spent, I could have steak or shrimp or
I can remember
oysters.
growing up after my Meemaw passed away.
Yeah.
And it became a family event for just my dad, my mom, and myself, and maybe his brother might come or something like that. But anyway, my mom would have to cook, you know. And I wasn't old enough to actually take on a whole dish by myself. Of course, I helped in any way I could, but it wasn't something I enjoyed.
Right.
And I can remember Mama having the day off, just that day off of work, and being tired from previous days' work, and just, it was a big chore for her to have to prepare a meal of that size for one day.
Mm-hmm.
And she always said, it was so much trouble was the way she described it.
Right.
It's that she just thought it was a bit much, but my dad kind of expected it.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know.
I mean, all husbands are different, but my dad expected, a big meal, and that's fine, if that's what he was used to growing up. His daddy passed away when he was a real small boy, but his mama always cooked a big meal, and he just expected it. So she did it every year, and she didn't complain out loud, but I do know that she was tired.
I do like dressing.
Yeah.
Cornbread dressing I absolutely love.
And you know what? We didn't do that this year simply because we don't have the room. And I saw an advertisement for one of the Meat and Three restaurants that we enjoy a couple of days prior to Thanksgiving, that they were doing pans of dressing.
Oh, wow.
And they even called it half pans.
Oh, wow.
We could have got a pan of dressing.
It's okay.
Well,
we're good.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
We'll eat the turkey breast in our mac and cheese, homemade mac and cheese.
Yeah, and Marycarl loves canned cranberry sauce.
She loves canned cranberry sauce.
And-
We've even tried the homemade and the fancy. It wouldn't. Nope. It's got to be that one that's that solid piece that when you pull it out, it's got the ribs of the can in it. You know
and
what I'm
that's
talking
where
about?
you slice it with the butter knife. It's
That
right where those
she
ribs are.
loves that canned cranberry sauce so much so that you buy it throughout the year. It is not no special event because I think people think of Thanksgiving or Christmas, but not Marycarl. She'll eat canned cranberry sauce throughout the season.
Yeah.
Summertime, it don't matter.
And when I buy it, and it's not Thanksgiving, when I know nobody else is going to consume it
Yeah.
but her, I have to buy those little tiny cans. And the reason is because she will consume the whole can.
Yeah, you have to be careful. She'll eat the whole can.
And it's really probably not very nutritious. So I buy the little tiny cans, and she'll eat the whole can, but I
Right.
don't have to worry about telling her, you need to watch how much of that you're eating.
Yeah.
You know, because I really don't put a damper on anything. She doesn't like sweets for the most part.
Yeah, she doesn't have a big sweet tooth.
We were in the
Except
grocery store
Canned cranberry sauce.
this week, and I always ask her, you know, what kind of vegetables and fruits do you want for this week?
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually the same old thing. Kiwi is one of her favorites. She likes pineapple. Just about any kind of fruit.
Right.
This past week, she said, Mama, I want some cherries. And I was like, baby, I don't think it's the time of year for cherries. She said, Mama, they have cherries year round. And so she starts taking me down the aisles, and we're looking for fresh cherries. And she said, there they are. She went over there, and it was cranberries.
Oh.
And you talk about a bubble getting busted. She
thought it
was
cherries.
disappointed because she doesn't like cranberries fresh, but she
Yeah.
loves fresh cherries. And they didn't have any.
They were out.
They were out. And I was just, kind of like thinking, you're probably the only kid looking for a cherry.
Fresh cherries.
But if you get a cherry on a milkshake or something like that, she
Right.
throws it out.
She don't want it.
No.
That's one of those. What do you call them cherries? Starts with an M on it. Machino.
No, we're not going to go there because we're going to mess that up.
We will mess it up. I wonder, you know what? I bet I'm not the only person out there that thinks that turkey is overrated. I'm not. I bet you. And I bet somebody's going to comment in this video and say, I agree with you, Jason. I think turkey is overrated. You know, we could do dressing
Yeah.
and we could do chicken instead of turkey.
Yeah. And my mom, when she makes her dressing, she actually boils a whole chicken and tears it off the bone and
Right.
puts it in that dressing.
Well, she seemed like she was the reason why we got the turkey.
Oh,
She
my
was-
gracious. It has been going on for a month now. What are we going to do for Thanksgiving? And every time she brought it up, I was like, Mama, I don't know what we're going to do for Thanksgiving. I really hadn't thought about it. I said, we don't have a whole lot of room to do much of anything.
Mhm.
And then it was like, as soon as I dismissed it, she brought it up again. And she said, she calls Marycarl the baby. I don't know if that's ever going to stop. Marycarl's going to be 40 and she's going to be the baby. But the baby's got to have Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the baby can have
Yeah.
steak. And
That's right. Steak.
The baby can have,
I bet you if we gave Marycarl her choice.
she would choose a steak. But she told me, oh goodness, too late to prepare dressing. Yeah.
Oh, your mom or Marycarl?
Marycarl, that she loves dressing. And I felt so guilty because I thought to myself, she never says she wants anything to eat. Anything in
yeah.
particular. She doesn't. The reason I made the macaroni and cheese is because, she likes macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
But she said, Mama, I really like dressing for Thanksgiving. And I thought to myself, I should have done a little better.
Well, don't beat yourself up because we've been
Oh.
so busy. I mean, I don't know if y'all probably can see my hands. I got glue, PVC glue, water glue, and all that on them.
But that's just a
And-
man for you because I glued how many pieces?
I don't know.
A few, and I only have a little piece right here and a little piece right here. I'm just careful.
And careful. And just we're so busy. I mean, we're nonstop. And
We have food to eat, so we have that to be thankful for. We
yeah,
haven't
we
missed
got
a
that to be
meal.
thankful for. But we've been so busy that almost prior to we got here, that I would edit my videos during the day.
Yeah,
But now
it's at night.
I've been editing my videos at night again because we're so busy during the day.
had bought the turkey like last week because Mama kept saying, you need to get that turkey. They're going to be sold out.
She was so dead set on us having the turkey.
So I bought the turkey, and we didn't have room in our freezer. It was frozen when I bought it. Mm-hmm. So I took it to her house.
It is thawed out, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
So I took it to her house and put it in her freezer.
Okay.
And I went over there to take a shower. I forget what night it was. Anyway, I said, Mama, you did. I said, remind me when I get out of the shower that we need to put that turkey in the refrigerator to let it thaw out. She said, I already did. I thought to myself right then, she really is geared up about this turkey situation.
She's geared up about the turkey. I don't know. And I wouldn't say not even since, we've been here. I would say the last few we've cooked, smoked on the grill. And it does give it more flavor.
It does.
It does.
She, Mama asked me also a couple of weeks ago, what kind of dessert are we going to have? Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, I don't know about you, but I don't know where a mixer is. I don't know where a bowl. I just don't know that
where are we going to put it when we're done? That's the thing. Our refrigerator right now is slam packed. We got stuff sideways and all which ways in there.
Yeah.
I can't imagine where we'd put a dessert.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It'd have to be unrefrigerated.
And we got an extra fridge in here that's got stuff in it. And your mom's refrigerator's got stuff in it. So, and none of them are full-size fridges. They're all, small refrigerators. So
that's right. All of them put together, I don't think would make a whole one. So it's been kind of,
But we do have some Neapolitan ice cream.
Well, I barely got it back in the freezer when I put the spaghetti in the freezer bags. It's in sideways, so watch your head if you open the fridge door because it's liable to knock you out. I hope it's that and not the
Well, I will
spaghetti.
Say, talking about ice cream and what's going, there is a ice cream you bought me at Walmart the other day. I say the other week. And you brought it to me, and it's got the strangest name, y'all. The name of the ice cream does not fit ice cream, It's called Magnum, like Magnum PI. I mean, it's an ice cream. And when I saw the name of it, I was like, man, this don't sound like ice cream. But it's got that. Y'all remember the magic
shell? I think
magic shell.
They still make that because I bought Marycarl some.
You know how you poured it on your ice cream as a kid,
like the Dairy Queen.
Yeah, and it got hard. Mm-hmm. Well, it's got several layers of that in this ice cream. And y'all, this is my favorite ice cream now. And we got some of that in the freezer. So if we do need some dessert, I'll share it.
Oh, how nice of you.
It says on the side of it, squeeze it because it cracks all that.
Well, I think that's what drew me to it. You have a tendency to let me do the grocery shopping by myself. So you'll tell me to pick you up some ice cream. Mm-hmm. Well, we can't fit a gallon of ice cream, so I have to buy little pints. Yeah. And as you know, the little pints are more expensive, and they tend to be the higher quality ice creams, more so come in the little pint-sized containers. So this one just struck my eye. It said Magnum, and it was in gold letters.
Yes.
And so I opened the freezer door, letting out all the cold air, which you shouldn't do probably.
Right.
I put my hand around it, and it conforms to the shape of your hand.
It does.
And you can automatically feel that it's like made to be squeezed.
And it says on it, squeeze here on the side of it.
And does it break up that chocolate and caramel or what?
It breaks it on the sides because it's got a thick one on the top. It's thick, y'all. It's thick. Like you got to have a big spoon and just smash it.
It's kind of like a creme brulee when you bust it open.
Yeah, but it's like way thicker than that creme brulee. And then down the whole side is solid chocolate.
Huh.
And I didn't really realize that. I thought you squeezed it to break the top.
Uh-huh.
But when I finished that first one, I was, I got to get all of it out. So I'm in there getting it all out. And when I kept getting this big chunk of chocolate.
It was like...
And I realized that chocolate shell was all the way around the whole thing.
I could feel that when I got it out of the freezer, that it's conformed to the sides of it.
Listen, it is... I have to literally make myself, like I said, I'm only going to eat this much because I'll eat that whole pint. And I'll just stop and make myself put it up.
Well, you told me my last trip to the store, you said, get me some of that Magnum ice cream. I said, okay. So we had looked online before I went to the store to see if they had any other flavors, because the one I always get them is sea salt caramel, if I'm not mistaken. So we looked, and I had seen a vacant spot beside that little tag, and it said vanilla and chocolate. Well, Jason's not really a vanilla chocolate guy. He likes the, a little bit more flavorful. So that one was not online. And I thought to myself right then, well, I'll just get him the sea salt caramel, because they always have that one. So I'm going down the aisle, and Marycarl was with me. She gets kind of impatient when it's towards the end of our shopping experience, and she's ready to go. And I couldn't, because, the ice cream's going to be the last thing you get. You don't want to shop around with it. And I said, Marycarl, I just don't see it. Do you? And she's like, Mama, come on, let's just go. Let's just go. I said, I can't leave yet. I have to get your daddy's ice cream. I said, just help me look for it. And so she called herself helping me look. I don't know what she was doing, but there was no spot for it. And I said, oh, well. I said, I guess he's just going to have to go with, without the ice cream. I don't see it anywhere. So we went to leave, and I said, let me look on this end cap just to be sure. And I looked in the end cap, and lo and behold, there was one little lonely pint. It was not in the correct spot. So I'm thinking somebody must have just stuck it there.
Who knows?
Putting it back because that was not its normal home.
But it's really good. I can see why it's sold out.
But I took that little one so you could have your fulfillment.
I mean, I really could see why it's sold out.
I don't even think I've ever tasted it.
You haven't tasted it yet?
I don't think so.
Usually I, let you taste everything.
Yeah, but, I try to watch what I eat, and if I have one bite of it, I'm going to be like...
It's good.
It's just not quite fair that a man can metabolize a lot faster than a woman can. I mean, we literally went to the beach over the summer, and Jason and I found this ice cream place. I can't even remember the name of it.
I can't either.
Pink Pelican, I want to say. Pink Flamingo.
Pink
something
Flamingo
like that.
Or something like that, yeah.
And it was in Panama City Beach, Florida.
That's right.
And y'all, it was the best ice cream I've ever eaten. So Jason and I are just flabbergasted with this place. And our child is like, Mom and Daddy, do y'all really have to have ice cream?
Every night?
Every night? This is ridiculous. So we go in, and Jason and I get ice cream, and she doesn't get anything.
No, she didn't get nothing. She did that first night. After that was it.
I mean, how can you go to an ice cream store and not get ice cream? So my point being, I watched what I ate the whole time we were there. Didn't eat anything fried. We cooked out most every meal.
We did. We cooked out most every meal.
And I gained 2 pounds. By eating a couple of ice cream.
Had to been the ice cream.
So that's why I don't taste yours, because I know I'll gain 2 pounds.
Oh. Well, it's good. I'm not going to lie to you. It is really, really good. The water line's almost done. Thank goodness. If we don't have any leaks. We don't know. We'll be cutting it on here pretty soon. If it leaks, I'm going to cry. But I want to talk about Moody and the harness and how...
Do you call it a harness?
Halter.
Yeah.
I better call it the right thing.
Yeah, I was thinking. I don't know what a harness... I
don't want to get in trouble. I want the halter to please come after me.
Gidget wears a harness.
That's right.
Moody wears a halter. I believe.
Well, I told you what I was going to do. I told you I was just going to work with him with it. I wanted him to see it because the camera cut off on us when Derek came, and they didn't see how nervous he got with that rope. And y'all saw him in the video when we first got him. He did not like that halter at all. I mean, he jumped back. He did the same thing with that rope when Derek the farrier came.
I think he would have got in the front seat of the car.
Yes. Before he'd have put that halter on.
Before he'd have put that halter on. And that's
agree.
the truth. It was a no-no.
It was a complete no-no. And so I'm going to tell you, I was a little apprehensive about it. Not that he was going to hurt or jump the fence or anything like that crazy, but I just didn't want to scare him.
Yeah, that was my thing, is I didn't want him to be scared.
Right. And then, Derek, he's the one that was going to trim his hooves, and he was like, once he realized Moody was not
Not too keen on the rope or the halter
Yeah.
or anything like that.
How nervous he was. He was like, there's no sense of us, pressuring him and making him where he's scared of us or anything like that. So that's kind of my thinking is when I took the halter out there and I had gotten it that morning and I was like, let's see how it goes. And when I first showed it to him, he did jump back.
Did he?
Yeah, he jumped back. But after that point, he did act like once he realized, hey, this is just a rope and it ain't going to do nothing to me, he really just didn't care anything about it whatsoever.
It just amazed me once I got back from running errands and went over there and you said, let me show you. And
Yeah.
you pulled that halter out and showed it to Moody and he was still licking me and
Yeah.
not paying a bit of attention.
Zero attention.
I don't know what you did, but
I didn't do anything. Like I said, I just introduced it to him and
I really
I
thought it was
just-
going to take a good long time.
I thought it was going to take at least a week for him not to jump or whatever. Well, this morning, I took it over there and showed it to him. Didn't bat an eye. And, I thought maybe he had forgot, because it's been a day. It's been 24 hours since I messed with him with it, that maybe he would jump back, and he didn't. He didn't do anything. Just so perfectly fine, easy peasy. He is not scared of the rope halter.
Well,
Now, I haven't got brave enough to put it on him yet, but now I'm thinking that maybe we need to get him a permanent one and don't put this one on. And kind of like a horse,
Yeah.
and we can just clip a
rope on him.
lead rope on him on the halter if we
Yeah.
need to.
I think you're right. And we had a lot of people commenting and sending us messages saying that, he probably needs something that's permanent versus that rope halter is rough. But y'all, it was a spur of the moment thing. We got the call the night before.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in town that morning and I picked up some things that I thought that if we were to get them, we would need. And that's all they had at the feed store.
Yeah.
And I
That's it.
actually called every feed store in the county because I didn't think Tractor Supply was going to have one. I tried to look online and it wouldn't show me if they had one in the store or not. So I called, the main feed stores. Nobody had one.
Yeah, I was shocked that they had it, to be honest
And
with
I
you.
thought to myself, we're going to have some kind of a halter to
Yeah.
load this cow
Yeah, I
if we
agree.
get him. And so I just bought the only one they had. And a lot of people have said, he probably didn't like that roughness, that nylon. It was a must-have thing. We thought that was the only way we could load him. So that's why we have that halter.
It is why we have that halter. And, I do think I could get it on him and it would be fine, but it's just a temporary
Yeah.
type thing.
And
And it would take, depending on, because he loves to play and he wants to, so,
yeah.
the Stevie Wonder going. And so, he, sometimes it may be hard to get on. If we had a permanent halter on him, we could get it, go ahead and get that on there. Some people have mentioned that they make collars too, or you could get a collar for him. But I like being able to control his head versus his neck.
Yeah. I didn't even know that there was such a thing as a cow halter. And so Marycarl and I went to town that morning and
Yeah.
had some errands to run. And we were talking about some things that he would need. And she said, Mama, Piper has a halter for Henry, her cow. Remember the
That's
cow
right.
that we fed?
Yeah, yep.
And she got it at Tractor Supply. And I said, Marycarl, I don't think I've ever seen a cow halter
Right.
at Tractor Supply. And she said, yeah, Mama, that's where Piper got hers. And so she's the one that convinced me to go in Tractor Supply because I wasn't going to go. I was just going to pick up a bag of whatever we needed, sweet
Right,
feed from a
right.
feed store. And we went in there and lo and behold, that's how we came up with that one. It wasn't that we were trying to buy the finest. It was just if we got the cow, that's what we were going to lead him around with. And we got the cow.
And didn't lead him around with it.
We sure didn't. We didn't.
Not at all.
Oh, I was fixing to say something.
Oh,
Of
goodness.
course, I forgot. I saw when I was looking, people say that you can get a permanent one. So I started reading about different cow halters.
Yeah.
And they even make ones with the engraving plate on the side.
Really?
Yeah, like you could put their name or
So
whatever.
we could put Moody on there or Moo Man or there were some people say that we may think about changing his name because they think of Moody, they think of somebody that's Moody, like in a bad.
See, I don't
he's
think
Moody.
of that.
She's Moody. But I didn't. I didn't.
I think he knows his name.
I think he does know his name. Yeah.
I think he knows his name. I really do.
does. I can tell you who does know their name, and that's Nugget.
Oh yeah, Nugget knows his name.
That blows my mind that our emu knows his name to the T.
I can call him from the back of his pasture, and he looks up like, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, if he could talk, he would say, huh?
He knows his name more than any animal here. I would be willing to bet.
I think he knows his name more than Peaches knows her name.
Yeah, I do too. Peaches knows her name too, but Peaches is hard-headed, and you know, she ignores you 50% of the time.
I asked you if you saw this, and you did not. But yesterday afternoon, I was doing something outside, and I turned and looked, and Nugget was running full blast around the pasture.
You told me that Nugget was running wide open.
And it was just the middle of the afternoon, and I thought to myself, of course, you know, we wouldn't be filming. So he does still run. We just didn't have the camera going. So
that's funny.
Yeah, it I just giggled out loud when I saw him just racing around the pasture.
I got to catch him.
I bet Moody said, that is one more foolish bird over there.
It's a wonder Moody didn't run with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a wonder that Moody didn't run with him.
I told Jason today, we always get Christmas cards from, well, of course, from our fans, but years past, you know, we have friends and family that'll send us those personalized Christmas cards. A lot of them have a photo on them. And here in the past few years, we haven't done that. We just hadn't made time to sit down and make a card, you know, make a personalized card. And so I told Jason this morning, I said, you know what? I said, we're going to have some Christmas cards coming to our old address because there's a lot of family and friends that don't even know that we've actually moved. And I said, maybe we ought to make a card this year that says we've moved and our picture, happy holidays, whatever. And I said, maybe we should think about that. And Jason said, yeah, it'd be a cute idea if we put Moody in the background and said, we have moved. And I thought that was an excellent idea. And we may do that.
We may do that.
That was a cute idea.
We could put a wreath around his neck.
Well, I'll let you do the... I don't know if he's up for a wreath yet. I mean, you know, the halter.
I think he will. He went so well with that halter. I think the wreath would work.
And I can remember back when we had horses.
Yes.
I can't remember what horse it was, but whoever it was a big horse. It was Zelda, maybe. She didn't want a saddle blanket on her back.
Can't remember who it was.
And you worked with whoever it was by putting, you know, brushing her back, by doing different scenarios to try to get whoever the horse was used to that saddle pad being on their back. And I can remember how patient you were and how well that worked out because it was like in a bat of an eye, you had the saddle blanket on the horse and then you had saddle on. Next thing you knew, you were riding it. Maybe it was Spirit.
It may have been Spirit.
Because she was so young.
Yeah, she was a younger horse. It may have been Spirit. But yeah, that's the thing, and that's how I treated him, was just treating him like I used to do the horses and just try to desensitize them. You know, you start off really slow with something, show it to him, take it away, show it to him, take it away. And once I realized that he was okay, then you can go another step, and that's what I did. And that's kind of like I did that blanket, you know. Then you would rub it all over the horse, and that's kind of like I did him with that halter. I just rubbed it all over him and let him get used to it, that, you know, just desensitize him. That's what they call it.
Well, you're very good at it. I will tell you that because I can also remember you working with a rope with a horse. You were doing something to try to get it to go when you told it to. Not whipping it. I don't mean that. Right. It was some kind of lunging or something like that. Yep.
And I would do them in the circle and just get her to...
You did really well. I mean, like you missed your calling.
Yeah, I enjoyed horses. I really did. And
well, I don't mean with horses. You could do it with Moody.
I guess I could do it with Moody, but I did enjoy horses a lot, and I got really comfortable and confident with horses and wanted to learn more and more horses. And then I got scared, you know. You know, and once you get scared, you know, it's hard to get away from that, especially with a 1,200-pound animal. And, you know, I just realized at any moment that no matter how broke you thought your horse was, that anything could happen, and just within a snap of a second, you could be paralyzed.
Was that when we were riding on the county road? Is that what scared you?
There was 2 instances that scared me with Zelda, who was a great horse. Well, not only Zelda, I had Sprinkle scare me one time. Didn't scare me, but thinking that I used to take Marycarl with me a lot.
Marycarl loved horses, and that's
loved
how
horses. And I had a buddy seat that attached to my saddle, and we had just broke horses. I never would put her in a situation. And but I remember riding Sprinkles one time, and we're just nothing, just going along, no issues at all. And then just out of just a split second, something spooked her. I never saw what it was, and she did a complete 360 in just a split second. And I held on. I didn't fall off of her or anything. But if I'd had Marycarl on there, that could have been a different story. And there were several things. I remember us going trail riding, and a covey of, I guess you call it a covey. What do you call a bunch of turkeys? Anyways, a bunch of turkeys went over, and I was further back, so it didn't affect my horse. I can't remember. I cannot remember who I was riding.
The biggest thing that I remember, and I don't know if I guess I was riding my own horse at the time.
Uh-huh.
We were riding, and it was a big group of people. And we were on a county road, and we were headed to a dirt road that was like a trail ride.
Yep.
And to get to that place was, we had to ride on the side of the road, on the county road. It was very little traffic.
Yeah, it was the old country road. You'd hardly see any cars.
And so we're all in a little convoy, headed to the dirt road area. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, this person that was in front of us fell off their horse.
Yeah.
And the horse went just way ahead, and horses were going different directions, and we were like, what in the world? Because we saw it all unfold from a distance. What happened was the horse got in a yellow jacket nest.
Yeah, it was that was rough. It was 2 boys that were green. They had no experience on horses whatsoever, and they hit a yellow jacket nest, and I pulled Zelda to the side, but it happened in slow motion. I could see it in slow motion, and the boys just let go of the reins because they were getting stung. The horse were getting stung. Of course, the horse started bucking, and then they were swatting, and one boy took his shirt off, and it could have been way worse than what it was. Way, way, way worse. And that may have been the straw that broke the camel's back. There's some other things here and there that could have happened.
Yeah.
And, when that happened, I kept thinking, y'all depend on me, and if something happened to me, we would be in trouble. And so I just thought that, it was just crazy for me to put myself in those situations with the horses, and something happened to me, and, I'm paralyzed or whatever. And it can happen. It can happen so fast. And not to say that, that you shouldn't ride horses or you shouldn't do horses or whatever. I'm not saying that at all. But that was just the way I felt, and I couldn't get that out of my head. I could not get that out of my head. Once that seed got planted, it was there, and it was not leaving whatsoever. Because I was fearless. I didn't care. We had our friends we rode with, and I remember, how one of them was wanting to get, sell a horse, but he got where he was scared to ride it. And I wasn't scared to ride it at all. It did not scare me one bit, and I would ride it. and so, just, I don't know. And my granddaddy was the same way, and I think that's where I got it from. Granddaddy was fearless with horses, and I think that's where it came from. I think it's just genetics. And that's crazy to think that, but I think it was. But granddaddy probably never got scared like I did. And once I got scared, it was over with. And then Marycarl got scared. That was the thing.
Marycarl got scared because she had a little pony. His name was Tucker, and he was what you call a babysitter horse. He
was broke.
He was just the best horse you could ever ask for a child. We were at a friend's house, and she had her little saddle on her horse, and we were walking her around with the lead rope, and somebody shut the toolbox on the truck.
It did, and it spooked him.
And she fell off.
She fell off a couple of times.
She always wore a helmet.
But she fell off the end.
She fell off the end, and then there was another time when I was leading her, and her front teeth
busted her lip.
Hit the horn on the saddle because something happened.
Yep.
And I think that was probably the straw that broke the camel's back for her.
Yeah, once she got scared, that was pretty much it for her. And then I was the only one fooling with horses. And then y'all horses, they're expensive.
Yeah.
They are so expensive.
But she really wasn't in a position at that age to tell us, I don't want horses anymore. We started seeing her draw herself away from them. Yeah,
she wouldn't want to ride. We would, because when I'd get home almost every single day, she'd want to ride Tucker.
Yep. We had to set, I remember she wanted a barrel race. That was her dream. And so we went out and got these barrels, these empty barrels.
We did.
They were from your work, and you brought them home, and we had to set those barrels up like a barrel racer would.
Yep.
And you would lead her around those barrels she had so much fun.
So much fun. And she was so young when she started. I got pictures of her with a passy in her mouth. And me leading her around them barrels.
She loved those horses.
She did.
I mean, that was just, and y'all, I'm telling you, before she knew, I don't know how to say it, but she knew breeds of horses.
Oh my gosh.
And the coloration.
At age 3, she could correct an adult about horse breeds, kind of like she does chickens right now. I mean, she was the exact same way with horse breeds.
But she doesn't remember any of it now. I can ask her from time to time. Do you remember what that, was called? I mean, it's one thing for you to know what an Appaloosa was, but she would know down to the details.
Yeah, she knew. And the coloration, she knew the color, just like she does chickens. She
would collect us and say, that's a blue fawn. That's not a blue roam or whatever it was. It's just the different. And that sounds crazy, but it was just, that was her love.
Yeah, she loved horses. And I still do. I see them in a pasture and I think, God, we got this pasture now. I could get me a horse. But I have to fight that because they need a lot of attention. They're different. I learned real quick, they're different than a cow. There's absolutely a difference between a horse and a steer. And I recently heard Lester from I'm a Survivor Sanctuary say, because he's got horses, and I think they're Jamie's, but he said that horses eat twice as much and need twice the nutrition that a cow needs. Because I think people see horses and cows and think they're the same, and they're really not. A cow is more closely related to a goat than it is a horse, because a cow's got 4 stomachs and they chew their cud, and a horse doesn't do all that like a cow does. So they're really, really not as close as you think. And I was thinking that too until we got Moody. And I've learned real quick they're totally horses, or I don't know. They're very sweet, but they're going to do what they want to do.
Yeah, a couple of more. I'm thankful that Marycarl kind of got out of that horse situation, because just think if she had the number of horses that she did chickens, we'd be in trouble.
Oh gosh, I'm telling y'all, horses. I remember when I bought our horses, and we had several too. We've always only had 2 or 3, but I would get one. And horses is kind of like what is it like? If it don't fit you just right, and you always have horse buddies, you always have horse friends. So you would, if you get one it didn't like or it didn't fit you just right, then you had somebody that would always get it, buy it back from you or buy it from you or whatever. And then you would get another one or whatever, and it was like a real tight group of us. And so we naturally always had several horses, and of course, the first one I got was a what was Sprinkles?
Sprinkles was Appaloosa,
and which was awesome. Like if I wanted to turn her loose and let her go, I mean, she could go, man. The
lady that we bought her from had pretty much bomb-proofed her. She would ride her down the road, and she would literally hit road signs, expose her to every kind of situation that could possibly be to make her to where she would not spook.
Right. But, she was like a quarter horse, so she didn't have that gait. When you're doing a lot of trail rides,
she would beat you to death.
She'd beat you to death. But man, I could turn her loose and let her go, and it was so much fun. God, it was I don't know how fast we could go, but boy, she could get skint back.
She was supposed to be my horse, and
she was.
The reason I liked her was because she was so soft on her neck. You could barely touch her with those neck reins, and she would just turn.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, And I liked that about it because I didn't feel like I had to use a lot of force to get her to.
You didn't really need a bit with her. You could
Yeah.
you could neck rein her, and she would do what you wanted her to. Yeah, she was awesome. But I got where, I wanted something with a gate. We're doing all these trail rides. Everybody had a gated horse, but me, for the most part. And my bum was getting tired of it. I'm going to tell you. My old rear end was getting so sore. And so, that's when I got Spirit, which Spirit was. What was Spirit?
I don't know. She was smooth, though.
But she had a great gait. But she was really, really young.
She was. We got Bear as a
that's
puppy.
Right. That's right.
At the
We had
same time that we got Spirit.
We did.
And so Marycarl was little. Bear's 10 years old,
Yeah.
and she's about to be 12. So Marycarl was a little less than 2 years old.
Right.
And we got Bear, and the horses were in their pasture area. Marycarl and I were outside. We had Bear. And
Bear was a puppy.
Bear was a puppy.
Yeah.
We turned our back, and in 2 seconds, Bear was in the horse pasture, which you would think would be fine.
Yeah.
But Spirit did not think that was fine, and she literally stomped up and down on top of Bear. And, we knew that she didn't want any chickens in the pasture.
Yeah. After this incident happened, I realized, because it never dawned on me at the time, because I don't know, the horses are out there. We didn't have as many chickens as we do now, but you didn't see the chickens in the pasture anymore. And I never thought anything about it really until this incident happened. And I realized that Spirit was very possessive of the pasture.
Yes.
She didn't want anybody to be in that pasture except her and the mate.
Yep. And so I just knew Bear was not going to make it.
Yeah.
I just knew it. And Marycarl witnessed the whole thing. It just scared me to death. And Spirit scared me because I felt like at that time, what if Marycarl had wandered into that pasture and that horse had said, hey, this kid isn't supposed to be in here?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I
right.
don't think that would have
I
happened.
don't think that would have happened either.
But it
yeah.
crossed my mind.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, something's got to change because
Yep.
this horse is too possessive of this
Right.
pasture. And so I think that's when you went back and the original owner of Spirit got her back because he loved her.
Yeah. Got Spirit back. And like I said, that was a thing with our horse group, that if something didn't work out, they would take it back or buy it back from you. And then that's when I got Zelda, who was a full-size, full-fledged Tennessee walking horse. She was a monster.
Her name was Wheezy when we got her.
It was Wheezy when we got her. And,
it never occurred to me like Wheezy, but Jason
Yeah.
didn't like the name Wheezy because
I think you thought of the Jeffersons.
I did.
And I think that's what she was named after, because
Yeah.
they had another one named Mr. Jefferson, and this was Wheezy. And I get all that, but I kept thinking, if I take this thing to the vet, which did happen, or if it doesn't work out and you want to resell her, or sell her and whatever, and her name's Wheezy, and I think that people would have thought that the horse had been sick at some point. And, of course, it kind of happened with the vet, I think, because it planted a seed in this vet's head that this horse had something wrong with it when it didn't.
Well, that was Sprinkles.
Oh, was it Sprinkles? I thought it was Wheezy.
No, they said Sprinkles had strangles.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. And she never had
She did not. So,
which is a disease horses get, which is bad.
yeah, she didn't have strangles.
Never had strangles, but...
I had 2 broke toes during the process of us having horses.
Who stepped on your toes?
Well, Spirit did one time.
Uh-huh.
And I guess it must have been Zelda the other time. But we would go on trail rides and they would be, tied to a pole or to the horse trailer or whatever, and we'd brush them. And I just got stepped on a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I had boots on, but they weren't steel toe boots.
Yeah.
Same toe, opposite foot. Next to my pinky toe. And we were going to Disney World the next week
Oh, my
after my
gracious.
first toe break. Do you remember? I limped the whole time we were at Disney World. I hurt so bad because there's nothing you could do. I taped
nothing
my
you
2
can do,
toes
yeah.
together. And
Yeah, there's nothing you can do with a broke toe.
So we don't have horses anymore, but we
No.
have the next best thing, and that's Moody.
Moody. I'm going to get an itch. And I'm going to make sure it's perfectly safe. But I think I think Moody will let you ride him. I really honestly do, y'all. I do. I think that darn cow will let you ride him.
I know he would let you ride him. I know he would. Now, whether it be he's not going to be gated, Jason.
No.
And you're not going to find a saddle for him.
No, I don't think you saddle a cow or steer.
People actually ride them?
Mm-hmm. Bareback. I've forgotten. People have been sending me videos.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody ride. I knew you said Daniel had rode his little bull.
Yeah, his little miniature.
But I've never seen anybody really ride one.
I'll try to find the videos that somebody sent me. There's one good one of a young girl, and she had several.
Somebody sent a message today, and they said they can see us, one of us leading Moody with one of us riding it down to the Flying Peach. We better get started a day ahead.
Oh, Derek and Timmy would like that, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they would. They might have to put a post up so we could tie him up when we get there and go in and eat our lunch and
my gracious.
come back and he can get his hoofs trimmed while he's there.
Yep, sure can. Sure can.
He is just like a big old puppy dog. I tell you, I've really fallen in love with him.
He is like a puppy dog. I was, a little nervous when we got him. I just didn't know how to take care of him.
Yeah.
You just don't know how to take care of him. And then here's the thing that I just recently learned. I would freak out because usually if a horse lays down,
it's not good.
Usually, it don't always not the case, but usually if your horse lays down, you get nervous.
Colic or something like that.
And so, of course, me thinking horses and cows are the same, I'd look out there, Moody's laying down. I'm like, oh my gracious, she's got bloat. Something's wrong with Moo Man. I'd go out there, Moody, and he'd stand on up, and I was like, you okay, buddy? You okay, buddy? Yeah, I'm fine, man. I'm like, okay. Walk back inside. 45 minutes later, Moody's laying down. I'm like, man, this ain't right. So I Googled it.
That's when you told me that day. You said, did you know cows lay down on average of 16 times a day?
16 times a day a cow lays down. And I had no idea. And it's perfectly normal for them to lay down. And for several reasons. One, so they conserve energy because a cow's so big, it takes so much energy for them to do anything because they're just monsters. And that's when they chew their cud. I didn't know that.
Well, I think it was yesterday or so, we walked over and he was laying down and he didn't get up when we walked over to him.
It scare you?
Well, no, he didn't scare me because
still scares me.
Well, you told me that they lay down 16 times and he's chewing. And so he got finished chewing and then he got up and he came to visit. But
that's
it
when
was
they chew their cud.
I need to finish chewing before I get up.
Another thing that he does that I Googled is that, a camper is not soundproof, y'all. I can hear him at 10:30, and I'm thinking, what? He's already eaten. He's got a big old bale of hay out there. What in the world is he mooing about? Cows moo at night a lot to ward off predators, and they do it. It's more kind of a herd thing, but he don't know. He don't know that Joe and Tip and Top don't moo back.
I was fixing to say, if I ever hear Joe mooing.
Joe's over there sneezing because, and I've had people say, is something wrong with Joe because he's sneezing all the time? Does he got a cold or allergies? No, if the girls are in heat, the girl goats are in heat, and that's just the thing that they do.
It's like a snort.
Yeah, it's like a snort, and he's trying to attract the ladies with that sneeze he does. And
y'all, he is ridiculous looking right now.
Both legs are brown.
I told him today, I said, Joe, you need a bath,
Oh,
big man.
my gracious. I want you to bathe him.
Well, you can forget that. But I think him and Moody are like BFFs.
They do like each other, but I think Joe is courting Moody. I don't think it's, like, hey, me and you pals. I think Joe's just, his hormones is all messed up because we got them separated right now, and one of the girl goats is in heat. So, I don't know. Eventually, I've talked about moving Moody in a bigger pasture, and I think a lot of people thought we were going to leave him out there by himself, and we would never, ever, ever do that. But when you talked about that, Tip would make him and Tip would make the perfect companions.
Yeah.
Because they're both fixed.
Yeah, that's right. And a weather really has no place in a goat population when the hormones are flowing.
Yeah. They really don't.
Topper and Joe are both bucks, breeding bucks. And so at this time of the year when there's a doe in heat, it just makes things crazy.
It makes things crazy. And we tried moving Tip to the girls, but Tip is the dominant one when he comes over there to the girls because he's bigger than the girls. And so then he's an absolute bully. And so I can't leave him in there with the girls. So I put him back over there with the boys. And Tip handles his own. It's not like that he's just getting beat up on or anything over the boys. I can tell he eventually, at the end of the day, he's just tired of all the hormones going on over there. And he would like just to get some rest.
Yeah.
And so I think him and Moody would make a great two buddies in a pasture by themselves until we do something else. We may get, who knows what we may get. We may get another cow. Some people say we ought to get a heifer. My buddy Kendall, said that we need to get a pregnant heifer.
Oh, my gracious. Marycarl wants to bottle feed one.
I think that's why he may have said that.
Oh. Well, I'd be scared to get one. What if something went wrong? I see all these vet shows where they have to pull these cows.
I'm the same way. I even worry about the goats being pregnant.
I can handle a goat.
You don't mind the goats being pregnant, but me,
because I can get in
myself
there if I need to.
About them goats being pregnant.
If I need to get into a goat and assist with pregnancy, I can do it.
Yeah,
I can do it.
You don't think you can do it with a cow? We can get Brant's wife over here.
Well, you better have her on. She better find her place to stay.
The guy
close to the delivery date.
The young man we get that's going to help us build our house. His wife is a cattle farmer, cattle rancher, cattle farmer. And I think that's all she may do.
Well, I know one thing. She's sopping wet 100 pounds, and she's dealing with some big old cows.
And she does it all herself, pulling them and sewing and being the vet and baling hay and all that. She does it, and more power to her.
She can sure come stay close to. I don't even know how long cows are pregnant. I know all about goats, but I couldn't tell you the first thing about a cow.
I don't know either.
I think we'll stick to goat babies.
We'll stick to goat babies.
And who knows? We may be breeding ours real soon.
We need to get our ditch covered up before we attempt it.
I'm not letting any goats out with a ditch there. They will break a leg.
Either they will get hurt or we're going to get hurt. One of the two. Somebody's falling in that ditch.
Somebody commented on the video today, and they said, I wish y'all hurry up and get that ditch covered in. I'm scared one of y'all's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
It really hadn't been an issue for us.
It hadn't been an issue for us at all.
And our animals are all safe.
Yeah.
So we're about to get it covered up.
We're about to get it covered up. If we don't have any leaks.
I hope by the weekend,
we don't have any leaks. Yes, hope by the weekend. Gosh, I'll be so relieved when this is out of the way.
We're not going to have any leaks.
I just feel like that, I'm tied down. I can't go anywhere, anything. I gotta get this water done.
I told you that before we start building our house, I want you to build Marycarl a pigeon loft.
I know.
Which a loft is not what you think it is. It's not like a up in the air kind of loft. That's what you call a pigeon aviary.
Right.
And so they have an inside area, but she wants them to have an outside area. So I think that'll be our next step after we get the hole covered up.
I think so too. Yeah, that'll be our next project is the Pigeon
Palace.
Pigeon Palace. The Pigeon Palace patio.
Oh, yes.
The Purple Pigeon Palace patio.
Oh, stop while you're ahead. Bet you can't say that fast.
Oh, me. Well, guys, I hope y'all have an awesome Thanksgiving, or y'all did have an awesome Thanksgiving. We're so thankful for y'all. We can't tell y'all enough. Thank y'all for everything, for watching, for commenting, for sending the messages, just everything y'all do for us. We thank y'all so, so much.
That's right. Everything. Suggestions, everything. There is no, you can't say the wrong thing to the Cog Hill squad.
Right.
We're just very accepting, and we appreciate everybody's thoughts. And
we really do.
Every piece of advice out there.
That's right. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Happy Thanksgiving. Y'all be good.
Well, it's another one in the books for the Cog Hill 40. Join us again next week for our next edition of the Cog Hill Podcast. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.